Hey everyone, it's Lauren. Today's look is, I don't know. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this entirely. We're kind of just gonna start like the skin and build off of that because I really don't know where I want to go with this eye look. I do want it to be more of an eye focus today, and I'm kind of oscillating between something with like a brown and a blue and something a little bit warmer, like a terracotta. And I can't make up my mind. Like, honestly, it's been one of those days where before I shot this, I felt like I kept forgetting things and like walking into the other room and being like, okay, wait, what was it that I needed? I needed to do something else. Like, it's just kind of one of those days. So I'm not surprised that like I'm walking into this and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my eye makeup today. So I'm putting on some Chantecaille Future Skin in the shade Vanilla. This is like such a beautiful, kind of almost like translucent, yet still kind of a medium coverage foundation. I really, really like this. It's got like almost like a kind of a gel texture. And it just kind of evens your face out and it still looks like your skin, which I really like. I've kind of like, I feel like re-fallen in love with this Dior Forever corrector. It's honestly a little light on me. They like their shade range is kind of not great, but I can make this work. And I feel like it oxidizes just a titch to make it a little more wearable on me. I probably should take a different concealer that's a little more my face shade, but whatever. What I like so much about this concealer is that it has really good coverage without being super thick. Like a lot of times when you have like a fuller coverage concealer, they can be really like kind of almost like thick and balmy and not necessarily just like sink into the skin the way that this one does. Like, I feel like when this one is on, when you get it all blended out, it's almost undetectable. You can see that. It's just so thin, but you get a good amount of coverage with it. The other thing I really, really like about this one is it's not super, like, luminescent or radiant. And the reason I like that is it's not going to highlight if you are trying to cover a blemish. So, like, kind of a good rule of thumb is if you have any kind of texture or raised acne or anything like that, anything that has a sheen to it and it is like described as like really radiant a lot of times, or things that have any type of mica or shimmer are going to accentuate that texture. So matte products, things that don't reflect light, are going to conceal a lot better over textured areas. That combination of the Chantecaille and the Dior, it's good stuff. Okay, now I'm going to take some of my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Medium Plus. This is also one of those products that I've really been enjoying. It's got some of that, it's just like very soft, not luminous, but it's not a real flat powder either. It's good to just kind of set things down, blend together if you have like what I have, which is a lighter concealer with your foundation. And I am going to wear a powder blush today. So to prevent powder blushes from grabbing too hard on areas of your face, I just like to powder over everything. It just kind of makes it a little bit more of a silky canvas going on. Now I'm also going to use the Chantecaille blush in the shade Laughter, which I think is just such a pretty soft, kind of pinky, rosy color. It reminds me a little bit of like NARS Orgasm if you took away like the really shimmery gold aspect of it. And it's maybe a little more pink than peach, but I think it's just such a pretty fresh color. And just to kind of go back and soften out a bit where the edges are. I like to take that powder brush. So for my like highlight today, I'm going to use the Jones Road Miracle Balm in the shade Dusty Rose. This is just going to add a little bit of luminosity back to the tops of my cheekbones. And I think it's just really pretty and fresh. It just has this very kind of subtly glowy effect. It's not like a really shimmery highlighter. It just kind of brings that life back and kind of perks your skin up a little bit. And it just kind of fits with what I'm going for today, which is just kind of a your skin but better kind of day. Okay, I'm still torn on the eyes. I don't know what I want to do. I'm leaning more towards a warmer look, so let's just go with that. I'm going to start with Painterly Paint Pot. This is actually a palette that I really, really love. I haven't played with it in a while, and I've kind of mentioned this like recently, but like I'm kind of getting back into palettes. Like I feel like I kind of fell away from them for a little while, but the Wayne Goss Topaz palette, so good. It's just like, the pans are huge, by the way. Like, let me show you, just for comparison, I have like some depotted stuff, but like the comparison here, pans are like double and maybe even triple the size of, I would say, a majority of eyeshadows on the market. He's very generous. So I'm going to start with the lightest shade in the pan, using kind of a mid-sized brush, and start on my inner corner and sweep across the lid. On the other eye, I'm going to take that same brush and dip into this really pretty warm terracotta. Make sure to tap off the excess. And I'm going to go on the outer edge of my lid space. Now what I'm going to do is in the crease, create a kind of classic V shape using a Chikuhodo kind of pointed dome brush. Now I'm going to blend this out to soften it because I don't want it to be a really strong geometric shape. Just to further soften things out a little bit, I'm going to take this kind of mid-tone, it has a subtle shimmer to it, very, very softly on this brush, just to blend it out. Honestly, I should have probably done this to start with because it would make it a little bit softer and easier to blend with that darker shade. So I have a pretty strong brow, like you can see it sticks out. So I have a lot of space to work with up here. And so I feel like my eye shape, my brow bone can carry a lot of color. Now what I want to do, we're basically just going to use the whole palette today, all 6 eyeshadows, because that's just kind of, yeah, that's just how it's going today. This pan is like a glitter, and it is so cool. It's a powder, right? But like the way that it applies, it almost looks wet. And let me just show you, like, it's just such a cool pan. It has like just such a cool, like, metallic quality to it. I mean, this palette is just so great. Like, I feel like it's just incredibly versatile and like a great kind of everyday palette. And I feel like this is also a palette that would work on a lot of different skin tones. You can really go super glitz and glam. You can downplay it a little bit. You don't have to use all 6 shadows. You could use like 1 or 2 and it would still look beautiful. But I'm just real extra today, apparently. So now I'm going to use the Uoma Cleopatra Ink eyeliner. And And I kind of, I'll be really honest, I really like this. This is really nice. But I find out of my liquid eyeliners that I have that are in a pen form, I would say I reach for my Haus Laboratories one the most at this point. I used to really love the Rare one, but in comparison, I just like the formula of the Haus Laboratories a bit better. It's like a much more flat kind of matte in comparison. And the Cleopatra ink is really, really nice if you are someone who wants like a very, very fine felt tip. I think I just personally prefer something a little bit longer, maybe a little bit thicker than this, but it's also, I mean, it wears really, really well. So I watched this movie last night. It's on Netflix. It's called The Life Ahead. And if you like international films, it's an Italian film. And I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's about a young boy, a troubled young boy who doesn't have a family and is essentially sent into the care of Sophia Loren's character. Sophia Loren, by the way, is like 86, and her son is one of the, I believe, producers for this movie. And it was just like, she's amazing. I have to be honest, I've never seen her films. You know, she's kind of like a screen star from eras bygone, and I don't know that she's really done anything in a very long time movie-wise. So this being my first film watching her, first of all, I'm like, wow, she's good. It's a beautiful film, and it's one of those films that kind of makes you continue to think the next day. But anyway, so kind of odd tangent. So the reason I thought of that is because, like, she's like 86 and her cat wing is still like on point, like impressive. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and I like look at mine and I'm like, well, it's okay. I'm gonna use the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. I don't know what color this is. This is a sample, and I'm just trying to use it up. I have to say, I actually kind of like this pencil. I think more than anything, I really like this shade on me. It's better on me and my hair than the Haus Laboratories one. And that's kind of my fault for ordering it. I could have gone darker. I've just been really cautious with going too dark with my brows because I think it can look really severe. But as I'm looking at this, like, it adds so much more structure, I feel like, to my overall look and my face. Maybe I'm actually going to start enjoying brow pencils again, because I kind of got away from them because I kind of hated them all for a while, but that's really good. So I'm going to take some of the Merit 1980 Brow because I'm kind of just trying to use it up at this point. It's not a bad product, I just don't love it for my personal needs. I just wish that it had more hold than it does, and it doesn't have a ton of pigment either. I feel like this brow product accomplishes one thing really, which is like making your brows look thicker, but it just doesn't have hold for me really at all. We need some mascara and something on the lips. You know, let's just go with Jones Road Beauty. This is my favorite, and it just is like a guaranteed great lash day. So I'm going to use MAC Spice Lipliner. I just feel like that kind of flows with the color theme, especially that we have on the eyes. Spice can act like a lip color alone. So I'm going to use the Haus Laboratories Le Riot Lip Gloss in Luxe Life. It's like, it's just such a great color. It's like this brownish kind of color with like pink pearl, and I just think it is the prettiest thing. But that is today's face. I I hope that you've enjoyed this. I've been making more frequent videos because I like being able to show products in action and not just reviews and like the first impression of them. It's nice to be able to share kind of my continued thoughts. And also, I just like seeing products in action. I'm never going to be someone who's going to like obsess over a flat lay compared to like actually seeing the product in motion on someone's face. Like, so I hope that you're enjoying these more frequent videos from me. They're never as popular as like review videos or review hauls, but like, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel and I can continue bringing you these kinds of videos. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.